Hey, what's up everybody? Tech Chucker here, and today we're going to do a review of the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series 6-inch C-3PO Walgreens exclusive. That's right, it's the Walgreens exclusive with the silver right leg. And you know what? I do have to say right off the bat, I got this as a gift from the one, the only Rube Da Great, and this is a pretty cool figure. I really like it. But there are a few shortcomings, and even though I got this as a gift, I do need to be critical when it's warranted. So let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. Now, it wouldn't be fair to be judging this figure's articulations off of the expectations that we have with a real human. This is a protocol droid after all, but his head comes on what appears to be a peg, ball peg, and he's able to look up just a little bit, not much at all down. He has good side-to-side rotation. I almost forgot to mention he does have a hinge joint in that neck, which does help a little bit. There is a little bit of tilt within that head as well, so that's good. So decent enough. The arms or the shoulders are actually on a ball hinge, and he's got decent rotation. It could be better. Obviously, he can do a full 360, which is good. So I'm happy with that. There is no bicep swivel. There also is no elbow joint, which is very disappointing. In the wrist, he's got a peg joint and a hinge, and those work as you would expect. Moving down into the torso, he's got what appears to be a double ball peg, I think, and he can barely move back or forward, but back was pretty good. And then he is kind of able to swivel if you force it. Mine goes a little bit better to the left, it looks like. And then he is also able to crunch to the sides, which isn't too bad. I believe that's pretty accurate. In the hips, he's got T-jointed ball joints, and he's, not really able to do the splits too much, but when is C-3PO ever going to be doing the splits? Pretty much never. He's able to kick his foot just a little below straight out. It's getting close to about a 45, maybe a little over 45. Not too bad. Really nothing backwards, but you know what? I don't recall seeing C-3PO doing any Chuck Norris moves, so not a big deal. There is an upper thigh swivel, and it's hidden very, very nicely in that sculpt, so I like that quite a bit. He has a single jointed knee, which works okay. It's about 45. He gets a decent motion forward too, which he's probably not going to need. And then down into the ankle, he has a hinge joint, which allows his foot to get back all the way, which is great, and not too bad forward motion. That's actually pretty good. Some of our other characters don't get that. And then there is also an ankle rocker. So overall, I'm happy enough with the articulation on this figure. It would be nice if it was slightly better. One note that I forgot to mention, those little coupling things on the shoulders, those actually do swivel at the top, so you can change the angle of those to get a little bit better shoulder rotation. I forgot to mention that in the review when I was actually doing the shoulders. Let's take a look at that sculpt work, and we'll take a look at the paint at the same time. So looking at this head sculpt, I actually really like this head sculpt. I think it does C-3PO very much justice. I do wish that the eyes actually glowed orange a little bit more. Maybe it'd be cool if they had a battery with lights in there, but they don't. I do think that this seam they did a little bit oddly, and maybe that's accurate, film accurate, I don't know. But it looks a little funky to me. I have to go back and watch the films. Let's take a look. I don't know what this little top thing is. I'm thinking that's a latch. So I'm thinking this must be accurate. Someone correct me if I am not correct. But I really like this head sculpt. I think it's very accurate. The upper body torso area also has lots of nice detail within it. I do think that the paint, if they had a little bit of a wash, that'd be cool. The torso with these hoses and whatnot is amazing. This is really, really good work by Hasbro. To be able to paint all of those wires and hoses, it looks really good. There is a little bit of messiness within that paint, but you know what? It's for a Hasbro figure, I think it's pretty darn good. So moving on. So here's the these little pieces that I was telling you about before. These actually do swivel, so you can see, you can swivel that with the arm. Haha. And originally when I first was looking at this thing, I was so disappointed because I didn't think that he had that, but he does. So awesome. So moving down into the legs, I think that that they did a really good job, though I think the legs are slightly too short. I think it's the thigh pieces that are too short. Let me get these arms out of the way. There we go. These, like I said, I think the thighs are too short. I think they need to be a little longer, but the rest of it looks very, very good. It feels like it's very film accurate. Whether it is or not, I don't know. These little knee pieces are actually like sort of soft, kind of pliable, so they're not going to catch on anything and break off. The feet I also think are too small, so it makes them a little harder to stand. But overall, I'm not too disappointed with the sculpt of this figure. The paint is decent. I don't care for this muted gold color. I wish it was shiny. And I can't remember if some of the newer movies he actually is more of a muted matte color and not so glossy. But I prefer my C-3PO to be glossy. Those are really my biggest gripes with this figure. Otherwise, I think the detail with the sculpt is very good. The paint is quite good as well. I think it's fairly clean. C-3PO doesn't come with any accessories, and honestly, I can't really think of a whole lot of accessories that he could come with aside from alternate hands. Maybe some fist hands and some pointing hands or something like that. And the hands that we did get are really, really nice. They're painted well. They're sculpted very, very nicely. So when it comes to accessories, I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that maybe he would come with an R2-D2. But I know that Hasbro, you know, obviously is going to want to put out an R2-D2, which they did a while back on its own, because they're going to be able to get a decent amount of money out of those. But maybe one of those little mini droid things that kind of wheels around. It looks like a black rectangle. Maybe that would have been cool to have something like that. I don't know. Aside from that, there's not a whole lot that I think would have really been warranted to come with the figure. So no real complaints. So overall, I think that this figure is really, really cool. It's a must-have. I wanted this one a lot more than I wanted the one with the red arm. I'm still not a huge fan of the silver leg, but I like it better than that red arm one. And I got this as a gift from Rube Da Great. So how much better can that be to have kind of a sentimental value to go along with a C-3PO, which I really, really wanted in the first place.
Alrighty folks, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button. Check out some of my other videos. You can see them right up here and down here. Also, check out the featured video that I've got here. Every single video I'm going to feature someone else's video. Somebody who has a channel, either it's an up-and-comer like myself or somebody who's an old pro. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome. So make sure you go check it out, like their content, subscribe to their channel, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Tech Checkers Brain Blast.